So I compared Interpreter of the Maltese and Bowler using dreams versus reality. And just click one more time. All right. So in Interpreter of Maladies, Mr. Kapasi has been hired by the Das family to basically give him a tour around and drive them to the Sun Temple. So Mr. Kapasi tells the Das family about his other job as an interpreter for a doctor. The doctor who actually couldn't cure his son. His son ended up dying. Ms. Das remarks that his job is romantic, and she seems deeply interested in it, which causes Mr. Kapasi to feel that she's interested in him. And he begins to have these deep fantasies about her, and those deep fantasies they keep escalating throughout the story, until finally Mrs. Das confesses that her youngest son Bobby is the product of an affair. And after that, his feelings really start to dwindle down until finally his piece of paper with an address he wrote down for Miss Das flies away, and that's really when he feels that he has no more feelings. All right. And so in Bowler, Bowler's about a 12-year-old girl she's a big fan of comic books, and her favorite comic book is Supergirl. And she has this reoccurring dream that she's a superhero. And in her dream, her physical features change and enhance. She grows out blonde hair, breasts, she gets muscles, x-ray vision, and she basically flies around outside the boundaries of the ghetto that she lives in. And she plays a trick on her landlord. She spies on her teachers and her neighbors. So this is reoccurring. So when she wakes, she usually walks in the kitchen and her parents are talking. Her mother asks her father if they can visit their homeland of Puerto Rico. I can't really pronounce that, but Puerto Rico. And the father quickly shuts it down, explaining that they just don't have the funds for it at the time. And then the story ends by the mother saying, if only I could fly. So my thesis is, in both the Interpreter of the Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri and Bowler by Judith Ortiz-Ofer, the main characters use fantasies to cope with their reality. So in Interpreter of Maladies, Mr. Kapasi begins to deeply fantasize about Mrs. Das to escape from his own reality. Click one more time. So his reality, Mr. Kapasi believes that his life is a failure and has longed for something more. His life and his marriage has started to become very lonely, and his arranged marriage is starting to fail because of the death of his son. His wife almost puts the guilt on him, and they're not really sexually active anymore as well. And also, his career as an interpreter is far less what he hoped it would be. He went to school to be an interpreter, and he almost doesn't use English to his full potential. He wished he could have used it more, but he needed to pay his son's medical bills, so that's why he started working for the doctor and interpreting for him. Put 1%. So his dream, Mr. Kapasi first starts to fantasize about Mrs. Das when she calls his job romantic. Mrs. Das takes interest with his work, which leads Mr. Kapasi again to believe that she's interested in him. He starts to run scenarios through his head about them writing letters after she's returned to New Jersey. With every casual act Mrs. Das performs, he basically becomes more infatuated with her. And this begins to escalate until finally the bubble bursts. She comes out and confesses that her son has been adopted, and reality hits, and the feelings kind of cut off. All right. So in Bowler, the narrator dreams that she's a superhero, but with her reality. Her reality, she's a 12-year-old immigrant girl. She lives in the ghetto with other Spanish Latino people. And from her dreams, we can kind of conclude that she isn't comfortable in her skin. She's insecure because of her growing bigger breasts, becoming stronger with blonde hair. It's basically like the stereotypical American girl. Due to her circumstances, she's unable to reach the American dream. And then click one more time. So the narrator is only able to reach the American dream through her dreams, or through her actual dreams that occur in the story. So like I said, by imagining her physical features enhancing, she's picturing herself more as an American girl. And like I said from the summary, she goes around her city playing pranks on people, spying on people, using her powers. And when she awakes, that's when she's thrown back into her reality. And at the end of the story, again, her mom says, "I see yo pudiera volar, if only I could fly." And this kind of helps us get an idea of where her dreams, this American dream, originated from.
Good.